Let's be honest, trying to navigate the real estate market right now feels like trying to read a map during a hurricane. It's chaotic. But what if you could get inside the head of a veteran CEO who's seen it all before? Well, that's what we're doing today. We're breaking down Mauricio Umansky's playbook for what he sees coming in 2026.
Umansky really doesn't pull any punches. He just comes right out and says it. The world's a mess right now. And that feeling of chaos isn't just about real estate. It's this general sense of unpredictability that I think we all can relate to.
But here's the thing. He's not just throwing his hands up. In all that chaos, he actually sees a path forward. And that's what we're going to explore. It's not about having a crystal ball, but it's about understanding the big moves and figuring out a strategy to not just survive, but actually grow.
So, the first major shockwave that's rocking the industry is this absolutely massive merger between two giants, Compass and Anywhere. And this isn't just some boring business headline, it is literally redrawing the entire competitive map.
Okay, for anyone who might not live and breathe this M&A stuff, it's just a fancy term for when companies combine forces. It's a classic move for growth, but in this particular case, the sheer scale of it is what's making everybody's jaw drop.
So with a deal this big, you gotta wonder, right? Did a seasoned pro like Umansky even see this coming? And his answer is so telling. He wasn't surprised that two huge companies would want to merge. That makes sense. What completely shocked him was that the federal government, the referees who are supposed to keep an eye on these things, basically just waved it through without a second thought. And this slide really shows you why he was so surprised. In the past, with even smaller deals, regulators would step in and force companies to sell off some offices just to keep things fair and competitive. But with this monster merger, the government required them to sell 0 locations. Nothing. That totally hands-off approach is what Umansky called a little bit shocking, and it signals a huge shift in the rules of the game.
All right, so if the government is kind of taking a step back, what does that mean for everyone else? Well, this is where it gets interesting, because one deal like this creates a whole new world of opportunity and threat.
Here's Umansky's theory. He thinks Compass and Anywhere are going to be so busy trying to stitch their massive companies together that for a while, they're basically out of the M&A game. This takes the two biggest buyers off the chessboard, which creates a huge opening for other brokerages to make their own moves.
But it's not just about opportunity. It's also about defense. He argues that this new giant is such a powerful force that other firms need to start talking, maybe even teaming up themselves, just to be able to compete and hold their ground.
So, this mega merger isn't happening in a bubble. It's really a symptom of much bigger pressures in the market. And that brings us to Umansky's broader forecast for 2026 and the key trends he thinks are going to define the entire industry. So he paints this picture of 2026 that's really shaped by a few key things. First, low transaction volumes. Simply put, fewer homes are being sold. Because of that, consolidation becomes a survival tactic. Then there's a data war heating up between giants like Zillow and the big brokerages over who really controls property listings. To make up for lost revenue, firms are going to push hard into side hustles like mortgage and title insurance. And finally, the big one for everyone, that slice of the commission pie the brokerage gets to keep is going to keep on shrinking.
Let's zoom in on that last point because it is right at the heart of the financial squeeze on brokerages. There are really two big forces hitting them at the exact same time. First is something called commission split compression. Just think of it like this. For every sale, there's a commission pie. To attract the top agents, brokerages have to give them a bigger and bigger slice of that pie. And that just leaves a smaller and smaller piece for the company itself. And second, you combine that with low transaction volumes. So not only is the brokerage making less money per deal, but there are also fewer deals happening to begin with. It is a painful 1-2 punch. And this quote from Umansky just nails the result. As he puts it, this isn't a new problem. Brokerages are already 3 years deep into the struggle. This long-term strain is what's making all this consolidation and searching for new business not just a good idea, but an absolute necessity for survival. So we've seen the big picture, right? Market consolidation, financial pressures, but what does all this actually mean for the agent on the ground? If you're the one showing houses, what's the playbook to navigate this new world and actually come out on top? Umansky sees a pretty clear divide. You've got your veteran agents, whose superpower is their deep, established relationships, but their challenge is having to adopt new tech
to generate new business. And then on the other side, you've got newer agents who are tech wizards, super efficient, but they just lack that deep well of existing relationships. So for those veteran agents, how do they bridge that gap? How do they generate new leads when the old ways are slowing down? According to Umansky, the answer is clear, and it's a game changer: AI.
And he is not subtle about the stakes here. He basically says that for experienced agents, those existing relationships will only take them so far. If they want to grow, they have to get relevant and adopt these new tools. Otherwise, their business is going to inevitably shrink as the hyper-efficient new generation starts to catch up.
So, as we pull this all together, what's the ultimate mindset you need to navigate this messy, uncertain, and super fast-changing industry? I think this final quote from Umansky is just so simple and powerful. It's a dual focus. It's not just about hunkering down and trying to survive the storm. It's about actively looking for opportunities to grow while you ensure your survival. The two have to go hand in hand. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Umansky's call for collaboration, the pressure from mega mergers, the need to adapt, it all kind of points in one direction, doesn't it? It begs the question, in an industry that's consolidating at lightning speed, is going it alone even an option anymore? Or is survival now, more than ever, a team sport?